It has been way too long since I last updated you on new makeup, and I just keep putting off this video because there's just way too much to update you on. I know it's gonna take like 2 hours to film and I'm a little scared, but we're gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for you. We're gonna get through this. Usually when I'm doing it, like once I've started, it's fine. And there are also a lot of products here that I do really want to update you on, so let's get into it. This time around I actually changed up the format a little bit. I asked you if you preferred a ranking for new makeup or if you didn't mind. A lot of people did prefer the ranking, so we're gonna try a ranking this time, but I did rank some products together to make it a little bit easier for myself. Also, this was pretty hard to rank, so kind of just look at around where these products land. I mean, my mood changes. I've had these products on a table here for 2 weeks maybe, and I've just been switching things around. Take it with a little grain of salt. Alright, in the last place, I'm not gonna mention the exact places. I'm gonna put them up on the screen because I know I'm gonna butcher it. I'm gonna make you very confused. So in the last place, we have these Revolution Pop Gloss Glossy Tint Sticks. These don't make any sense to me. They are blotchy, they are patchy, they are not very glossy. They are more like a pigmented balm type product that is a little bit more on the satiny side. I bought these because I really like the colors and just the description of it. It sounded really nice. A glossy tint balm. How nice, but these are very patchy. I didn't actually use these again. I just applied these all in the video and I just didn't feel like it was very hydrating and they all looked bad on the lips. Go check out that video. I just didn't feel the need to use this again. Alright, next up I actually tried this Pout Balm by Makeup Revolution as well. This is the Plumping lip gloss with vitamin E. This is in candy pink. I don't know if other shades are like this one, but this shade looked very weird on me. Very patchy, very uneven, super pigmented, but it was kind of like laying on top of the lips. This was the weirdest looking lip gloss that I've ever tried in my life. So this is about as bad as those glossy balms. Then next up I have a product from the Catrice Poolside of Life collection. So this was the cooling face stick. This one you're supposed to like apply to your face throughout the day. It's supposed to feel cooling, and like, yes, it feels cold when you apply it, but it's kind of like only while you're applying it. Like once you stop applying it, that's kind of it. And it's not like you feel a lot, like it's not like a lot comes off. Like you do see that something is happening here, but it's so like stiff, it is so hard. It's kind of like might as well just grab a rock out of the yard and just use that, like maybe clean it off first, but use that to kind of like cool yourself off. Like there are so many ways to cool yourself off. I feel like this is a very unnecessary product. Next up, this is the Essence Live Life and Coral Lip Balm. I actually didn't like this in the first impression. I did give it another chance. I did like continue trying it, and I did scoop out like a big chunk as someone suggested to see if that felt more hydrating. This is a super hard, waxy feeling, to me not hydrating feeling lip balm. It looks super cute, and they had to make it this very hard formula to make it stay looking like this very cool, like whipped cream kind of effect. But because of that, it's not my favorite lip mask by far. This is my least favorite lip mask, I think. That's why it ended up so low. It's just too hard and not very hydrating, whichever way I try to apply it. Then more from the Catrice Poolside of Life collection. This collection overall didn't impress me that much. These are the glosses, or like the by face lip oil. And I got 2 shades. I got Keep It Pool and I got Under the Palm Trees. These are very minty, very cooling, yes, but they're not very hydrating. And I don't like the spatula that these have. It's really like, yes, it's a spatula. It's not a doe foot. I feel like it's kind of weird to apply. I usually don't like lip products that have this kind of spatula. They are kind of like duping K-Beauty with this, but I also don't like it when K-Beauty does this. These are just clear glosses. They don't do a lot for me. They are just very minty and not hydrating. Next up, I tried one of the Wet n Wild Rich Satin lipsticks. This is in the shade 1 in a Milli-Melon. So I thought this was going to be a satin lipstick, but it is more of a like very metallic creamy lipstick. It looks very metallic on the lips. It feels quite slippery on the lips. Don't like the effect of this in the end. This is a little bit of a matter of taste, but I also don't like when lipsticks feel very slippery, and for some reason that usually happens when it's kind of like this metallic sheen. And I also don't really like the packaging because this is a type of packaging where you're gonna nick your lipstick if you don't pay attention. Then another Essence Live Life in Coral product. This is the By Face lip oil, and this is a little different than the Catrice. That's why I ranked it a little higher than the Catrice. This also has a spatula that I don't like, but this one is a little less minty. I like it a little bit more. It still has that fresh scent to it, but I don't think this is gonna stay around in my collection for very long anyway. Then I actually tried one of the Bourjois Healthy Mix Lip Sorbet. There was this 60% off deal. Was it 60%? Like, there was this deal at Kruidvat that was crazy. I bought a lot of lip products, like a lot of drugstore lip products there, just to like try out some formulas, and some I really liked, some I didn't like that much. So this one I have in the shade 06 Peanude Butter, so not peanut, it's Peanude. And this is quite a nice kind of like warmish nudish tint. It is kind of like a tinted balm. I felt like it was just a little bit uneven on the lips. There was nothing special about it. It was just an okay product, and Bourjois is kind of expensive at the drugstore here in the Netherlands. So I feel like when you're looking at lip products in the drugstore, like, this is not the one that I would suggest because it's more expensive and it's really not that great. Next up I have here the Made by Mitchell Slip Dew. So this is the single Slip Dew cream highlighter in Rose Bling. At first I didn't want to buy this, then I was like, you know what, this looks amazing in a pan, I'm gonna try it. And you know, for what it is, it's definitely not bad. It is kind of like this see-through, very balmy formula. There it is over there. Very balmy formula. It is just, I don't really understand why we have this, and then we also have the other formula. What was it called again? The Comet Case formula. I don't really understand why both of these exist, because we also have these in singles. I don't really understand like the difference. Like, when I swatch this, it also feels quite balmy. Like, this is the Comet Case. It also is sheer and see-through. Like, this is the Comet Case and this is the new one, the Slip Dew. Like, I don't really understand. I did like the Comet Case, but I don't really understand why this product was launched, why we needed this. It does work quite well as a base under a powder highlighter, so I like it for that. It does work on its own as well. It's just a very balmy see-through product that doesn't dry down, but at this point I'm kind of like, why did we need more? So that's why I ranked it lower. Next up I have the Essence Hello Kitty highlighter roll-on, and the actual formula of this, once it is on the cheeks, is nice. It's smooth, it's glowy, it looks nice, but it is a roll-on and it's a powder, and I don't feel like this fully works. I feel like it's a gimmicky product, but the gimmick makes something that is actually quite nice work not so well. I mean, you have to like turn it upside down and then you have to roll it on the face and then you have to try to blend that out. I feel like if this were just a pressed powder, I would have really loved this highlighter. In a way, it is cute. If you want to go through the trouble, I would say you can still buy it. It's not unuseful. Then these Catrice bronzing sticks from the Summer Obsessed collection. I actually like the formula of. Once again, this is a good formula. It blends out well. We have a really beautiful color in this one. Like, this deeper color, I bought it just to see if it would work for me. It doesn't. So if you're like around my skin tone, the deeper one, I would stay away from that. This is a more cool tone one, the lighter shade. The shade of this is beautiful. And if I get this on my face, if I manage to get this on my face, it actually looks really good. The thing is, I really hate this packaging with a passion. I hate it so much because we have such a big doe foot, such a big hole. You have to like turn this up and then so much comes out and it's way too much for the face. It's really hard to just get a little bit of this. The packaging also is so bulky. So if I manage to get just a little bit and blend it out on my face, I'm happy with the result. It looks really good, but the packaging just makes me want to throw this in the trash right away. I just wish they did this formula again with a different packaging. I just personally really hate it. I have seen a lot of people enjoying it and I do understand it because the formula is good. I just personally cannot get on with this. Like, I've tried using this again, but it's just so much product comes out and it's just way too much and it gets super messy. Then next up, I'm ranking these Catrice Poolside of Life nail polishes. And you know what? These are pretty cute nail polishes, but they are advertised as being very, very pigmented. opaque nail polishes. That's what it said in like a press release, but these are just sheer toppers. I tried to build these up, and like the blue one is kind of like buildable in 3 coats, and I quite like that one, but like these others I had to do so many coats, and it's just kind of like false advertising to me. I do like them as kind of like a topper, but even for that I feel like they are not shiny enough, they are not special enough. I'm probably not gonna reach for these ones again. Like there are other nail polishes from Catrice as well that I like a lot more. Then now we're getting into the fine category. Like this is not bad makeup anymore. I just didn't like fully love it. So here I have the mini lip glosses, the Relove by Revolution baby glosses. I got 3 of the shades. I don't remember if these were all of the shades. They might have been. These are shimmery glosses. They are pretty cute. They are a nice topper, but they just feel a little cheapy. The doe foot is super small. Smell very artificially like candy, so I don't think these are gonna be my favorites, but I can imagine if you don't have a big makeup collection, if you don't have much money to spend on makeup, if you're a teenager, that this could be really cute. For me, these are just not the glosses that I've been reaching for a lot. Then next up I have here the Essence Hello Kitty Caring Sheer Lipstick. This is a sheer reddish coral lipstick. This is a pretty cute one. It gives a like sheer color to the lips. It's pretty cute. You can combine it with a lip liner to make it a little bit more like noticeable on the lips. You can build it up a little bit. This is a pretty cute one. I quite like the packaging. It's just not super special. Alright, next up I have here the e.l.f. Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. I've been using this a lot, and in a way I really like this, especially because of the ingredients. This doesn't have any drying alcohol, it doesn't have any perfume, and I will continue using it and I will continue enjoying it to an extent because of the ingredients. But I feel like the actual like effect this has on my skin, it is not much. Like I do quite like the sprayer. It is a little bit of a like strange sprayer in that it doesn't go down a lot, so you have to like press pretty hard to get the product out. This does definitely have a place in my collection because I do have sensitive skin, but I do think if you don't have sensitive skin, like this is not gonna do like the long wearing, the setting, everything, as well as some other sprays. Like this is an okay spray with ingredients that I can actually have on my face in spray form. So it's kind of like, because of the ingredients, I would put this like at the top of setting sprays, but because of the actual like effect, it's not anything special. Then next up I have here the Essence Lip Life and Coral Lip Gloss. This is just a sheer lip gloss in a squeezy tube. This is a nice lip gloss. It feels really smooth on lips. It's just like, how high can you rank a sheer lip gloss? It's smooth. It's kind of like plumping looking. It feels really nice. It looks glossy. It is just, if this had a color, it would be way higher. And the same goes for this Essence Hello Kitty Glowing Lip Gloss. Exactly the same story. I do like the packaging of this. It's really cute. It has the like little holographic flowers in here that you can shake. Once again, really nice on lips, but it's just a sheer lip gloss. Then next up I have here the Catrice Summer Obsessed Glowy Face Palette. I quite like the packaging of this. I like the style of this. I like how this is looking. I really like these 2 highlighters in here. The base highlighters in here are a beautiful formula. They also have a different formula. Why are there so many hairs on this palette? They also have a different formula. One is a little bit more like subtle, one is a little bit more blinding. But the reason why I'm ranking this lower, this could have been way higher if this didn't have any shimmer in it. So the bronzer does have kind of like clunky, chunky pieces of glitter in it that are noticeable on the skin, and I don't like it. If that wasn't in here, then I would have really enjoyed this palette as a whole. I'm gonna reach for it just for like these 2, and that is in a way enough for me. Like these are really nice highlighters. All right, next up we have kind of like a color preference thing. Like I do have to take my color preference into account a little bit here, because sometimes like a lot of things are kind of like around the same quality, and then it does come into play. So here I have the Flower Nose Midsummer Fairy Tales eyeshadow palette in 03 Fairy Melody. I do have a affiliated code for 5% off now with Flower Nose. It's code Marley. This is a kind of like warmish green with a golden Shimmer eyeshadow palette. Like these greens are pretty warm. This is pretty warm. Like this is more of a minty shade. It's quite nice. And then we have quite a warm rose. I just feel like these greens pull a little weird on me. Like they are not my perfect colors. The quality in here is really nice. It is just like a pretty simple look. And then it's not a look that I go for back again and again and again. If this were like a cool tone neutral palette, I would have really enjoyed it, would have gone back over and over again, I'm sure. It's just a very specific look, and it's like you don't have that many shades, you don't have that many options, so you really have to enjoy it, and this was just not fully my color palette. But I did want to kind of like support this choice. That's why I bought it and why I was interested in it, because we don't see these colors a lot from Flower Nose. So I would still recommend it if you like these colors, but they were just not totally my thing. Alright, then I'm ranking the Gloss Gods That's Pop eyeshadow palette pretty low actually. And I do really like the color source of this. This is the purple one. Beautiful selection of shades. We have a really nice depth in matte. Then we have some really nice shimmers. And then here we have the pink one. We have some really nice muted pinks, but then also some really bright pinks. And then this darker shade can really go in either direction depending on how you combine it. The thing is that these shimmers do crease on me really quickly. And there are ways to counteract it. There are ways I can go about it. I do have really oily eyelids, so it doesn't mean that this will be the same for you. But I do have really oily eyelids. Usually with the eyeshadow primer that I use, I don't have any creasing until maybe like really late in the day. So creasing is not really an issue for me because I know how to like prep my eyes for eyeshadow, but these did crease on me very quickly. Like you can do a little bit of a setting powder on the lid before you apply it. You can do some things. I just thought that this was too quick, too easy to crease. These are not my favorite shimmer formula. Like I do like the idea of it, but I have to be honest, and it's just not my favorite. I like other palettes from Gloss Gods more. Next up I have here the Cooling Lip Oil from the Summer Obsessed collection from Catrice. These are really nice lip oils. I really like the colors that they chose for these. This yellow one doesn't have a color, but the kind of like orangey coral one and the purple one do have a color. These are really nice and hydrating. I like what they did with this. The only thing is that I feel like this applicator is too big. Like it is so big that it covers more than just my lips and it goes kind of like everywhere. If you have bigger lips, like this is a great applicator, but for me it would have been nice if it were just a little smaller. It would be a little bit more of a precise application. Because of the applicator, I'm gonna rank it a little lower. By the way, these are not minty, but they do have a little bit of a cooling sensation because of the applicator. Then I actually tried the old formula from Catrice, the Matte Pro Ink Non-Transfer Liquid Lipstick. They are coming out with a new matte liquid lipstick line, and those are the Endless Matte Liquid Lipstick. I have seen the space for it in Kruidvat in the Netherlands in the drugstore, but they haven't like filled up the space yet with the actual product, so they're kind of like preparing for it, but it isn't here yet. I feel like Catrice had a little bit of a like hiccup with their Endless Matte Liquid Lipsticks because we've been waiting for those and they weren't even in the official press release, but I feel like they're coming. Like I've been stalking the internet, the Kruidvat website, Boozy Shop, but they are not here yet. But I did want to try these to tell you the difference, and I think this is a really nice formula. Very smooth, very pigmented. The reason that I'm ranking these a little lower is because they are quite sticky. Not like super sticky, but on the sticky side. And these are the type of product that I would prefer applying like a gloss on top. Like something on top that makes it feel a little bit less sticky. But they do wear a long time because of that stickiness. It's kind of like how long-lasting products work. Like if you make it more sticky, it's gonna last really long, but then it's gonna be a little bit less comfortable. So these are nice, but they are not perfect. So I'm curious to see like if the new formula is less sticky than this. They are very smooth though, very nice looking on the lips. Okay, then this definitely is a color preference and it's totally my fault. So I bought the Lethal Cosmetics Avatar The Last Airbender palette. I bought the Earth palette, but I also bought the Air and the Water, and the Air and the Water are way up there. Like we're talking about that a little later. But the Earth palette, I mean, I could have known I knew. But I've been waiting to buy this collection for, I don't know, 3-4 hours. I'd spent so long like trying to get in the line, trying to queue up. And then I finally was on the website after hours and I was just like, I would just throw this in as well. I mean, I'm not going back. This is just a very like a grungy warm toned green palette. Like you can go a little bit more cool tone if you grab for this one. Also, these brown shades are not like crazy warm. They are more of a like neutral. I really love the quality of this palette. The palette is amazing. The mattes are amazing. Like I can do some looks with this that I do enjoy, but there's just a lot of warm green in here. Like these top shades, beautiful, but very, very warm. And I could kind of like tone it down a little bit, but this is just not gonna be my favorite palette. And like, it's my own fault. It's nothing against the palette. If you love murky greens, this is a beautiful one. Alright, next up I have the Essence Live Light and Coral Blush Lighter Stick. This is a really nice stick blush lighter. It is quite a light shade though. Like this doesn't have a lot of pigment. It is more of a lightly pigmented highlighter. This one doesn't fully dry down. It stays feeling quite creamy, but it's not like a sticky tacky product. I feel like if this had a little bit more pigment so that I could actually use this as a blush, this would have been higher, but it's a nice product. I like the glow of this. It isn't glittery. It is a very smooth glow. I like combining it with things, but I personally love it if a blush lighter can be used on its own, especially because I'm quite fair. I feel like this is more of a highlighter. Alright, next up I have here a few products from the Kiko Gloss Supreme collection. A few products are also a little higher, but I ranked these together. So here we have the Gloss Supreme Dewy Glow Face Highlighter, and I have shade 01. It doesn't say the name, but it was like candy sheen. It's kind of like a pinky mauvey highlighter, but it is quite like see-through. It is really nice. It's very glowy. It looks really nice on the skin, but it is a very balmy highlighter. It doesn't dry down. It's not like super sticky. Kind of also depends on how you apply it. I feel like if you really blend things in, like this product, it becomes less sticky. If you really like just pat it and leave it there, it's gonna be more sticky. So it really depends on your application as well. This is beautiful, but I would have ranked this higher if this did dry down a little bit more. But it's really nice. Then we have the Glow Ink eyeliner. I got it in the shade 03 Midnight Violet. This is a beautiful eyeliner. There's nothing wrong with it. I have enjoyed doing looks with this. It's a beautiful shade. It works well. Eyeliners just don't get me like super excited. And then I also have here the Kiko Gloss Supreme Color Glaze Lip Lacquer. And I have here shade 04 Scarlet Ink. This is a beautiful lip lacquer. It has a little bit of a grip to it, which makes it less on the lips. Like it isn't too smeary. It's a nice shade. It's a nice fall shade. It is just, this definitely needs a lip liner, and that is okay, but I do feel like this is not the easiest lip product to wear, and I do love lip products that are really easy to reach for. Then I put here the Gloss Gods Liquid Cheek products. I have here the liquid bronzer in You Are Thoughtful. This is very olivey. Like when I blend it out, it is fine, but it definitely has kind of like that poopy brown olivey undertone, which is nice for the olive girls, but I am not olive. And then I also have the liquid blush in Lover. This is beautiful. I actually would rank this a little higher than the bronzer because this is a really nice shade. It blends out really nice. These are really easy to use products. They are not too pigmented, but they're also not too lightly pigmented. They do dry down. These are actually really like user friendly. I have no issues with them, but they also don't get me like super excited at this point. Alright, next up I have here the Made by Mitchell Living in Pink Mini Blush Book. This is a very cute packaging, and then we have 4 blushes in here. Like they are not super matte, but they are matte blushes. They are very buildable. Really like the shades in here. They are all pink, but they do have different undertones. This one is a little bit more berry purple. This one is a little bit more peachy pink, cool tone pink, and then a darker, very like Barbie pink. This works really well. I like it. It works well for my lighter skin tone. I can use these together. I have been really enjoying doing a little bit more of a lighter blush here and then a darker blush over here. And then this type of palette is really good for that. I really like a palette like this that has only blushes because then I'm kind of like reaching for this as kind of like one pan. I think this is really cute. And then next up, I have a lot of products from the Midsummer Fairy Tales collection by Flower Nose. First up, I have here the Midsummer Fairy Tales liquid highlighter. This is one of the multichrome ones, and this is 04 Fairy Whispers. So when I did my video on this, I was kind of like so about it. I didn't really know what to think about it, because this is a type of highlighter that does really dry down. Like it does set down and it stays there, and it doesn't really work when your face, like the base of this, is super matte. So if you apply the blush from Flower Nose, like the matte powder blush first or after, it just doesn't match because it's too matte and you don't have time to blend it out. But if you use this with a little bit more of a dewy base, maybe even with a cream blush, like if you combine this with the right products, this is really nice. I also think if I really go directly onto the skin with the doe foot and then start to blend that out, it can get a little bit too much. It's very pigmented, a little goes a long way. So I have kind of like found a way I like to use it, and then it is really nice. So I like to pat this on with my finger very like precisely, and then it's a really nice multi-chrome highlighter. It just has a really smooth formula. I did have to kind of like learn to work with it. It does have a little bit of a user manual, but it is quite a nice highlighter. Next up, I have here the Midsummer Fairy Tales liquid glosses. So here I have shade GO2 Little Flower Fairy. I have GO4, and this is To the Moon. And then I also have GO5 in Freesia. These colors are really nice, and this is a really nice formula. It's very smooth, it looks really nice on the lips. Do have to mention that this is quite a sheer formula. It's a thinner formula, so that is something that you have to like. I personally think that I like the glosses from the Violet Strawberry Rococo collection a little more than these, because they are a little bit more substantial. They are a little bit thicker, they have a little bit more pigment to them, but these are really nice as well. It's just sometimes when you apply like a little bit of a darker lip liner just around the edge of your lips and then apply something like this on top, you will really see that difference between the lip liner and the gloss. Like these are really more subtle. By the way, I'm ranking these together, but they are in order that I enjoy them. And last up, for the Midsummer Fairy Tales collection, I have here the Velvet Embossed Blush in 04 Summer Blossom. This is a really beautiful blush. I really like the amount of pigment. It is a very matte blush though, so you have to be aware of that. Of course, the packaging with Flower Nose is absolutely stunning. We all know, like if you've seen the video, like this collection is very beautiful. This is a really nice blush. Has a little bit of scent to it. This I do like to combine with a highlighter because it is so matte, but it is also very blurry. Alright, then a few more things from Avatar The Last Airbender. I have here the White Lotus Pressed Highlighter. This is a very shifty highlighter that looks quite chunky in the pan, but it smooths out on the cheeks really nicely. I do have to say that this is the packaging from the collection where I'm kind of like, could you have done a little more? Of course, I know nothing about the behind the scenes of this collection, but I feel like the packaging throughout this collection is just so good, so well executed, and this is just a pretty simple compact. It doesn't feel extra special. I like the embossing, but it's not like blowing my mind. The quality is nice, but I feel like could you have done a little more maybe? Then we have this Sokka glitter gel. This is nice. It is a nice like sparkly addition to an eye look. I do have to say that it is quite liquidy, and that can kind of break up your eyeshadow if you're not careful. Just take a little bit of this, but it is really beautiful. And then I think the kind of like surprise of the collection for me is the lipstick. So this is the Ty Lee lipstick, and this is kind of like a nude red shade, very toned down red. If you weren't like into the very red shades, this is quite nude. This actually is very comfortable, lasts a long time. I love the packaging of this. When I did my second like full wear test of this, I was like blown away at how good this actually is. It's just so nice on lips. It's so smooth. I really liked it with the look that I did. This is actually nicer than I expected. That is a good lipstick. That's a good formula. Then next up, I have here the Armani Luminous Silk Cheek Tint. This is in 53. I saw this all over the internet. I got curious and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it. I think I got it on a deal somewhere. Like, I wouldn't pay full price for this. This is a pricey product. Okay, the thing with this is It is a nice color. It blends out nicely. It's very effortless. I like the skin-like effect on this. There's no shimmer in this whatsoever. It's just a very like creamy look on the skin. It's just that it's so expensive and I don't really feel like it is worth it. Like, just looking at the price, I'm just ranking this a little lower. Also, I don't understand this doe foot. It's such a weird doe foot. Like, you're just like, I don't know, swiping it on. It's a little strange. I do like it. I'm gonna keep on using it because I also have it now, but I feel like there are really nice liquid blush formulas that are way cheaper, like also from the Kiko Milano Days in Bloom collection. I don't know if those are still available, but I would pick those over this, even though I really like the color of this, but it's also like, you can find this color everywhere now. So I kind of feel like the hype got me and it was a little unnecessary. Then I have here the RMS Beauty French Rosé Redimension Hydra Powder Blush. I've been using this a lot actually because every time I use it, I just didn't feel it. Like, it's a good product. It's an objectively good product. It's very smooth. It has a nice glow. It is a nice color, but it's also quite expensive. And for some reason, like, every time I applied this, I didn't feel like it gave me what I felt like I needed it to give for it to warrant the price that it has. Maybe I'm just a little like hard to please when it comes to high end because I have so many drugstore favorites. And I just really love more affordable brands that do really great packaging, just like Kiko Milano. I just don't know. Every time I was just like looking for the special factor, for the X factor. Like, this is such a hyped up product. I've seen so many videos about it, and yes, it is good. There's nothing wrong with it, but I also feel like I can get something like this cheaper, better. Like, for example, I know I can talk about Kiko Milano, but the Kiko Milano Gold Reflections collection, those baked blushes are like the best baked blushes I've ever tried in my life. And this couldn't beat that. I'm still ranking it pretty high because it is a good product and still something could kind of like happen between us, definitely, because it is a good product, but it just kind of, in a way, disappointed me. I was expecting to rank this like first in a ranking, but it ended up a little lower. I don't know where we're at right now, but I'm guessing like 15 maybe. It's not that high. Alright, next up I have here the Kiko Milano Gloss Supreme Layering Matte and Glow Blush Duet in 01 Sandy Chic Cheeks. And yeah, this has the Gloss Supreme kind of like domed packaging. This is a duo with a powder blush and then a like balmy blush. This balmy blush doesn't dry down fully, but it dries down like 90-95%. It's not that super balmy feel, but it's definitely a balmy blush. I really like this duo because I can use this as a bronzer and then I can use this as a blush, and it's a really nice glowy, beautiful, plump looking blush. It's very glowy. If you don't like a kind of like sweaty look, wouldn't go for this formula, but I do really like it, and I do really like this formula because it does dry down far. Like, it goes far. It's just not like 100%. It does dry down way more than the stick highlighter in this collection. This is a really nice duo. I really like the quality. The reason that I'm ranking it a little lower is because it does have kind of like that 5% non-dry down still. Like, 100% dry down is like the best thing there it could be. So it's definitely not a 10 out of 10. It's more like a 9 out of 10 for me. And also I feel like when you just apply the blush, it looks more vibrant than when it has dried down. It's not like it fades throughout the day, but every time I apply this, I'm like applying quite a bit, and then it kind of like lessens a little bit in pigment because it's drying down, and then you kind of have to apply a little bit more. It's not terrible. Once you notice, like, you can keep that in mind, but it's a really nice duo. All right, this one and the next place I feel like could be like switched around. I feel like these are very similar type of products to me, very similar like level of quality, and also a pretty similar price point. I feel like they're pretty similar, but this is something I would expect, so that's why I'm ranking the next one a little higher. So this is the Gloss Supreme Gloss Dome Multi-Finish Eyeshadow Palette in 01 Over Earth Reflection. So once again, from the Kiko Gloss Supreme collection. I love this color story, love the quality in here. Very pigmented matte, very shiny shimmers. There are some really nice sparkly toppers. There's kind of like this rosy brown color in here that I really love on myself. It is a type of brown that I don't see a lot. It's not fully like a mauve, it's really like a rosy brown. And I do also like the kind of like hint of lilac in here. It just gives a little bit of a fresh pop. This quality is really nice. You will also see in the swatches, these shimmers are super sparkly. They are not kind of like duochrome, multi-chrome, but this is a really nice quality eyeshadow palette. Next up, I'm gonna rank here, I'm gonna try and not blind you, the Icon palettes by Makeup Revolution. I did a video on this a couple of months ago, and it took me a little longer to put these in a ranking because there are 4 palettes. I did want to put them all together, did want to give you my opinion, put all together. I'm gonna rank them also in this place because I want to tell you which ones I like the most also within this collection. So for me, the least favorite is gonna be the Eternal Icon palette, but I do love the quality of all of these. So this one has quite a lot of different formulas in here. We have 2 cream shades in here. All of these palettes have 2 cream shades. I actually quite like the cream formula in this. I do have very oily eyelids, but I can make these work. However, I have to use a little bit and I have to use it on a finger to really like blend it out. I have tried the cream shades with a brush, but then you kind of have that thick creamy layer that stays on top of the shadow. If you blend it out with a finger, just take a little bit, it becomes more of a cream to powder, and it actually lasts even if you have more oily eyelids. So if you don't want these to crease, you have to wear them a certain way. We have some more satin shades in here, more satin shimmers these, but we also have this one is very sparkly, this one is also more sparkly. This one I'm ranking lower because this is not fully my color story. It does have some warm greens, but it also does have some kind of like cooler tones, some cooler nudes, some kind of like grungy, kind of mauve shades. By the way, I did use this cream shade as a liner, really liked it. I can do really nice looks with it. I can really appreciate the color story. It's a really nice fall color story. And I did put this in my top fall eyeshadow palettes, and I do really agree still with that. Like I did that like a week ago. But this is a really nice quality palette. The mattes are blendable, pigmented. If you use the creams as a base, it's even more pigmented. The shimmers are really nice. This is just a really, really nice formula. Alright, next up we have the Patrick Ta dupe that went viral. This is the True Icon eyeshadow palette, which is based on the Major Dimensions palette, I believe. We have 2 cream shades. We have really, really sparkly shades. Like these shimmers are so beautiful. I really like the quality of the mattes in here. You can do really beautiful looks with this. It is quite a warm palette, that's why it's not my ultimate favorite, but I can still do quite a nice kind of like rosy look, which I really enjoy. Like these shimmers are just so dimensional. They do have a little bit of duochrome to them. They do have a sparkle to them, multicolored sparkles. Like these shimmers are the best from this line. Like these are really, really great. Once again, very easy to use, very beautiful formulas. I feel like I'm not conveying well enough in this video how great these palettes actually are, but I actually said in my video that I felt like maybe this was BH Cosmetics formula because these are so good, like so pigmented, so blendable. I can do really nice looks with it, and I have played around with these palettes a lot and I think they are great. Alright, next up I have here the Smoky Icon palette. This has the cool tones, but it doesn't have a black, which made me like it even more because this is a really, really dark cool tone brown. Very nice shades in here. You can do quite a nice cool tone look, but you can also mix it up a little bit with this golden shade, a really nice smoky palette. There's also a purple in here. This just has a very, very like pigmented, shiny silver as well. I do think that we could have had a little bit more of a difference in depth in these, but I do enjoy them a lot. I do feel like you can create different undertones if you put these down first and then put down one of the darker mattes. A really, really beautiful palette once again. And then my favorite of the bunch, of course, is the like cool tone pinky one. I can't help myself. I really love cool tone pinky shades. But this one also has kind of like duochromatic, multicolored sparkle, really special shimmers. Like this shimmer is so beautiful. It's kind of like a pink to like a violet, blue, purple. We have some pinky shades. I really like the bases that we have here, like the creams. really nice. This is a purple shade. This is like a really dark brown with a little bit of a like purpley undertone. I really like this purple shade as well. Like this is a very ethereal, very beautiful, like soft, sparkly eyeshadow palette. It does have the cool tones, but it also has kind of like those pinky shades. I really, really love this palette as well. Like Makeup Revolution did a great job with this launch and it makes me really excited. By the way, today I'm actually wearing the Burn Book eyeshadow palette and just look at the shimmer. Like I feel like Makeup Revolution is doing a great job with their palettes lately, and it makes me really excited because they are affordable, they are really easy to get for me, and I'm rooting for drugstore brands to up their eyeshadow formula, and I feel like Revolution did that this year. If these were even like better themed, if the packaging were even better, I know that they would get a little bit more expensive. I feel like they really put all the money towards the formulas of the eyeshadows and they really skimped out. Like they were like, you have to save on the packaging so the palettes can be really great. But I personally wouldn't mind paying like 15 euros for something in a cardboard packaging that's really nice quality. And then with these shades, that would make them like top 5 for sure in a ranking like this. I do feel like these are gonna be pretty high ranked as well in my yearly eyeshadow palette ranking because they are really nice. All right, we're in the top 9. That was number 10, so not bad for Makeup Revolution. I just hope that you understand. I'm just really happy that those palettes exist and that I tried them, and I'm just kind of weirdly proud of brands that up their game. All right, in the 9th place we have the Essence Hello Kitty blush lighter, and this is just such a beautiful blush lighter. I really love just mixing this together, put it on my cheeks. Love the glow that this has. It's not glittery, it's just very, very smooth. I love the color of this. I do feel like if the packaging were a little bit more aesthetic, were a little different, like this is so bulky. Like we've seen this before from Essence, but I don't like it. If this were even like more aesthetic, more aesthetically pleasing, easier to store, this could have been higher, but now I'm just saying like this formula is really beautiful, really nice. I love this so much on the cheeks. Next up, I'm gonna rank the Naturium Phyto-glow Lip Balm in Camellia. I at first didn't really know what to think yet, but I've been reaching for this one a lot. It's a really nice kind of like super cool toned, almost lilac pink tinted lip balm. And I do like the applicator of this. It's just the right size. I also feel like the actual formula of this works really well with the type of applicator. I have tried some tinted lip balms that I feel like are too liquidy for this type of applicator, but this is actually really, really nice. It is a very hydrating, lightly tinted lip balm that grips onto the lips a little bit. It's not sticky, but you do feel it grip, and that makes it pretty long lasting, and you still feel the hydrating feeling for quite a long time. And also this just looks super nice and smooth on the lips. This is a really nice one. Then I put here the Kiko Gloss Supreme Watery Touch Lip Stylo. This is a like you can turn it up but you can turn it down, kind of like super juicy watery lip stylo, and this is in the shade Translucent Mauve. This is super glossy, super juicy. It's not thick, it's not gloopy. It is just a really, really nice, a very glossy gloss in a stick formula. Like the watery description of this is really what this is, but I don't feel like it's too thin. It doesn't feel like it's gonna disappear off the lips. It actually stays on quite a long time. It's really weird because it feels just like the right amount of thickness, the right amount of grip, and I just really love this formula. I love to see it from Kiko Milano. I know we've seen so many of these type of products, but I do feel like this is kind of like a next level of glow. This is less balmy, more super glossy in the stick, so I do really like this one. All right, a little while ago I was like, I am curious, I want to know what the perfumes from Flower Nose are actually about, because they are quite affordable and they have super cute packaging. I mean, the packaging of this is just so intricate, so beautiful, and this is only like 45 euros, so that is really good for the 50 milliliters, yeah, 50 milliliters that you're getting, because I feel like so often I find a perfume that I like and then I look at the price and it's like 100 euros or more for 50 milliliters, and I kind of feel like that's too much. I forget to wear perfume like the half of the time, so I do need something that is a little bit more affordable for like the type of perfume wearer that I am. I like to put my money towards like makeup and eyeshadow palettes, and I don't buy that much perfume, and I don't want to buy like super expensive perfume. So I was really interested, I was really excited. I was like, I'm just gonna try it, I'm just gonna do it. And actually didn't buy these at the same time because I also had kind of like this discount code. If you become a higher level tier at the Flower Nose web shop, you get at some point like €50 discount. It's crazy. This was before they sent me PR. All of the products from Flower Nose, all the products in general in this video are not sent in PR to me. Like I bought all of these myself, just to be clear. I think I bought this one first. This is the Swan Ballet perfume, and this is in Ribbon Ballet. Yeah, that's all it says. I do feel like at this point they didn't have the packaging down as much as they do now. Like it's still really beautiful, but I feel like they really upped the packaging more and more. And like this feels more heavy, more sturdy, more weighty, and it's just a little bit more detailed. But it's not the most important part. Of course, the scent is the most important part, and this smells so good. It's a coconutty, fruity scent. It's very soft. It's very like warm and cozy, but it's still kind of like a summery scent. I feel like in the end I could wear this like all year round. I just feel like this is such a nice kind of like softer but not too soft. It doesn't have like a crazy projection. It's not like, wow, what are you wearing? It's also not like you can directly smell like, oh yeah, this smells just like coconut, or this smells just like mango. I don't know exactly what fruits are in here. I will put up the notes, but this is just such a nice soft warm fruit, coconut, a little like warm and milky almost, but it's not heavy. It's not a heavy perfume, and that's what I really like about it. It's just a really easy for every day. This is just such a nice perfume that it's kind of like that summery coconutty perfume, but it's not too on the nose. It's not too strong. It's not too like you can only wear this in the summer or on the beach. Then we have the Midsummer Fairy Tales perfume, and this is in, which one is this? This is Midsummer Fantasy. Okay, so there are two perfumes in this collection. I went for Midsummer Fantasy. This is such a fresh, zesty, fruity perfume. It's actually so good. It smells kind of like peeling a super juicy orange, but at the same time, I feel like it's not too on the nose. It is a scent that has a lot of projection. Like you're gonna smell it on someone, but it's just so kind of like almost bitter. It's not super sweet. It's just super fresh. You smell like a fruit basket, but in the best way. I don't feel like it's too like simple. It's like a really, really nice fruit basket. And with these, I'm kind of like, I want to try more perfumes from Flower Nose. I feel like they did a really great job with these. I feel like these are really nice, sophisticated perfumes. I would highly recommend them. If you like something a little softer, a little cozier, but not too heavy, I would go for this one. I will put you the names and everything, all the links in the description box. And then this one is like super fruity, zesty, like true fruit. It's not fruit candy. It is like so juicy, and every time I put this on, I'm like, I smell delicious. All right, next up, I'm ranking here the Botanical palette by Beauty Bay. This was my first time trying a Beauty Bay eyeshadow palette, and I've really enjoyed it. I've done so many good looks with this. I really like the shimmer formula in this. It's a little bit more of a simpler shimmer formula, but we do have some duochromes. It's a little bit more of a thicker formula in a way. It's not really like a toppery formula, but I do really enjoy the way it looks on the eyes. It does look really nice and smooth. Really enjoyed these mattes. They are nice and buildable. Really love the colors in here, the color story. The packaging of this is really nice for the price that you're paying. Like this is only 19 euros, and it's just very, very nice. I feel like in a way I like the eyeshadow quality from Makeup Revolution a little better from the Icon palettes than I like this, because it does have a little bit more like variety in the shimmers. It does have some like multicolored sparkle toppers, and I do really like that. But this overall like experience is better. I like the packaging better. The price is also really good. And I just feel like this color story makes a lot of sense. It's just a really nice to look at and nice to use eyeshadow palette. I really enjoy this. I will probably be picking up more Beauty Bay eyeshadow palettes. Alright, next up we have the Glamonatrix Cosmetics A Barely Basic palette. I've enjoyed this palette so much. I've had this for not so long, but I've already like done so many looks with this that I'm ready to like tell you about it. So this is a very like clearly laid out palette. It makes a lot of sense. We have different color stories. We have the like very sparkly super metallic shimmers, and then we have these iridescent shades that are very, very shifty. The mattes in here are beautiful. I love combining the different mattes. I love combining different shades. I just feel like this all goes together so well. Shimmers are absolutely stunning. Some do seem a little like duochromy over here. You can do something really special when you use those more iridescent shades. You can really use those as toppers. I even liked mixing in the warm greens a little bit. You know I don't love warm greens, but I feel like in this sense I can just mix that in a little bit. And just the first look that I did in my first impression video, I just loved so much and I just kept using it, and I was so excited about all of the looks that I've done with this. It just makes a lot of sense. And also I feel like this row is not like super orange. It seems pretty orangey, but I can make this look more kind of like a reddish warm on me, which I do really enjoy. I think the quality of this is amazing. The packaging of this is also really beautiful. Laminatrix Cosmetics is just one of my favorite eyeshadow brands. Like, their formula is impeccable. I think they did a really good job with this. I also feel like because it gives me the fall vibes, it's being ranked a little higher now. Like, it's not my perfect personal color story because it is a little grungy and swampy, but I am very excited about it right now. Then next up, I'm ranking the 2 remaining Avatar The Last Airbender palettes from the Lethal Cosmetics collab. And my favorite is gonna be probably the Air palette. I didn't really expect it because there are some shades in here that I wouldn't really use. I did try them. These 2 shades, I'm kind of like forgetting about them, but the rest is just so beautiful. I love the tones of these kind of like super light butter yellows. I do love the shade Gyatso so much, and then in combination with Glider, this is such a nice cool tone brown. Such a good undertone. Love the shade Aang, and just love Yip Yip as well. Like, so many good shades in here. I love that it's a little like different, a little unexpected. It does make a lot of sense to me. It's really like in my comfort zone, but still a little different. I really love this palette. And then we have the water palette, of course, and that is more blues, but I feel like it's still kind of like wearable, like with UA and then Swamp Benders. Like, you can do something quite like soft. I really love the kind of like pastel shades that are in here, really beautiful. The shimmers in this collection are just so out of this world stunning. I do feel like with this I also have to be a little bit careful to not put them on too thick. They might crease a little bit at the end of the day, but it's nothing I cannot handle. Like, this is really easily salvageable. Like the Gloss Gods one, they crease within the hour or two. Like, very fast. These are kind of like at the end of the day, I can see a little bit of creasing, but if I just apply a little bit of setting powder on top of my eyeshadow base, I'm good to go, I'm fine. This is such a good formula. Honestly, if Lethal Cosmetics keeps doing this, I want to buy everything. I want to see what else they're doing and I want to get it. I do think that they have not released anything else since they announced this collection. Like, they have just been so busy with doing the restocks, with sending out all of the orders. This was their biggest launch ever. And I think it's crazy how much this meant for them, but they also did it in such a good way. I feel like they did the packaging and everything and the whole vibe very well. They were clearly big fans of the show. They did it so much justice, and I want to see what else they're doing. Like, is it gonna be this formula from now? I want to know, because I'm a fan of this, but I don't know where we're going. I desperately need a break, but we have 2 more spots to talk about. So in number 2, I am gonna put the Lunar Beauty Moon Prism Liquid Blushes. I got 3 of the kind of like lighter pinky shades. These are quite pigmented, but still really easy to use. This is a Rose Reina, which is a light rosy shade. And then we have Bloom Bella, which is a little bit warmer, but I use this kind of like as a bronzer in a short, and I really enjoyed it. And then we also have Preciosa Pink, which is a very cool tone pink. Like, I would probably recommend you this one over the Armani because this is only like 22 euros, something like that, and that's like half the price, and it's so pigmented and easy to use. Packaging on this is beautiful. It has a really nice doe foot. You just need dot and then blend it out. It's a really nice skin-like finish. It's not matte, but it does dry down. You have to figure out a little bit the amount of pigment that you need because they are quite pigmented, but once you kind of like gather what the size of the dot should be, it's just such a nice formula. I love it on the skin. It's very smooth, and the thing that really like pushed these over the edge for me, like that made them get into favorites territory, is that these are really nice on the lips. Just take one of these and put a little dot on your lip, then blend it out, and these are like the thinnest, most comfortable, beautifully smooth liquid lipstick. Like, I wouldn't wear these like fully on their own, I think. I would pair that with a little bit of lip liner because you do have to like blend it out with your finger. Like I wouldn't like swipe this on with a doe foot. I think it's gonna be a little bit too much, but just like dabbing it on, so beautiful. It felt so nice, and I was kind of like, how is this so good on the lips and on the cheeks? I even did a little bit of a story about it on my Instagram. I've been really into doing like Instagram stories, so if you want to see some like looks in between updates, I do share a lot of that over there, and my Instagram is linked in the description always. But these are just so nice. I've enjoyed using them so much, and I feel like these are gonna be like staples in my collection. All right, in the #1 spot, I'm actually ranking 2 eyeshadow palettes. This was my first time trying out Cosmic Beauty, and I've really enjoyed it. And this collection really surprised me in a way because I think I like the neutrals the most, the more warm palette, and I think the Cool Tones is gonna be like in second place in this collection. So let's talk about the Cool Tones first. I, by the way, really love the cardboard packaging that we have. I love the size of these palettes. Like they are not too big, but we have a lot of options. This is some really nice muted blues, grayish tones, mauve shades, like cool tone neutrals. I really love the addition of a shade like Grape because it's kind of like, it pulls it more into the purplish direction. The quality in this I've really enjoyed. Really easy to use mattes, really beautiful looks. I love the shimmers, like very different formulas in the shimmers. Some are more like toppery, some are more like sparkly, like some are more opaque. We have some special shades like Gravitate. It's really like this purple to green, very shifty. So many beautiful looks I've done with this. Really enjoyed the formula of Cosmic Beauty. I thought that this was gonna be like my least favorite, like the one I would reach for a little less because it is kind of like, is it too warm for me? But in the end, I feel like if you kind of like take away like these shades, it's pretty neutral. And especially with this bottom row, like I love these types of mauve shades, and then like really like these neutrals, light pinks. There's so much in here. Also like these cool tones. It is a very like versatile neutral palette, and I've enjoyed doing looks with this so much because it just keeps on being different. Like there are just so many options. Once again, really love the formula, and just there are so many colors in here, so many combinations. I feel like the warmer tones are also really easy to combine with more neutral or more cool tones. It's really like playing around with the undertones, which I really enjoy, and it's just a little different. It's just not like a basic neutral palette. It's just like a really fun, kind of like with a pop of color, with a pop of cool toned and warm toned neutral palette. And this is just, I've been really excited about it. I've done so many looks, really love using that as such a favorite. And I think in my end of the year ranking, these are gonna end up really high. Like these are my makeup style. I love neutral with a twist. That is just what I am. Like a little rosy, a little purpley, some really cool tone shades. I just love it. Alright, this is gonna be everything for this ranking. I need to take a break. My voice needs to take a break. Whew, I'm glad I finally did it. Now I still have to edit this. It's gonna be a beast to edit. But okay, I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.